Joining us now is a foundation member, policymaker, Oji with stories trending around the world. You deserve your flowers. Hello, Ginix.
As well as you. Good morning, our legendary Dr. Abati. How are you this morning?
Yeah,
good morning, Ayo.
Good
I
morning.
heard that you contested for president, student union president.
No, I was one of the officers, sabbatical officers,
but
student union.
Okay, were you a president at all?
No. I was president of the African Caribbean Society. So I was very involved in student union.
Today you are going to be our favorite presidential woman. That's what you are today.
Let's send that to Lagos State House of Assembly.
Yes, we're going to send her there.
They are very powerful people. You go and represent your constituency.
I just hope she doesn't end up singing, oh, really?
Groupie on fire.
Ojinika, Oji.
We play too much. Okay. All right, shall we start the show? Our favorite woman in power. Good morning, Ayo. That's your new name. Well, all right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending by taking reactions to the National Assembly's decision to stand firm in its decision to reject Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's plan to return to her legislative duties, stating that her 6-month suspension will stay in place until a Court of Appeal ruling. Well, according to Senate spokesman Yemi Adaramodu, this uncompromising position is based on the Senate's Standing Order 40, Clause 1, which asserts that matters in court should not be entertained. Adaramodu stressed that this is a constitutional rule that upholds institutional integrity, even if the public misinterprets it as a parliament being a banana republic. The Senate also warned the media against sensationalism, urging journalists to resist partisan pressure and promote responsible reporting. Dr. Abati, I'll take some tweets and I'll come to you because I have a few questions regarding the stance by the Senate. Now, Sola wrote, this is beyond belief. You cannot use the pendency of the judicial process to extend the punishment you have imposed. So a man appeals a 6-year jail sentence, and after completing his term, he has to remain in prison because his appeal has not been heard. Surely, there are lawyers in the National Assembly. Well, another ex-user wrote, this is getting interesting. If a senator can't resume until court cases are cleared, should that rule apply across the board of all public office holders facing legal battles? What do you think? Fair standard or selective application? Am I overthinking this? Are we overthinking this, Dr. Abati? Because I also know that this whole idea, the Senate's position indicates that, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan's return is solely dependent on a ruling from the Court of Appeal. Natasha, as we know, had written a letter telling the National Assembly of her intention to return on the 4th of September, exactly 6 months to the day of her suspension. But in reply, her request was rejected. Now, this is all based on the courts. That's what they're saying now.
Okay, we had a guest on this program, Mr. Ibrahim Wali, and in the course of the conversation with him, we tried to raise all the issues.
Yes.
Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan was sent on suspension March 6, and that, due to the efflution of time, that suspension expired effectively on September 4. However, the reality now is that the Senate is on recess. But Mrs. Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan had written that, well, even if the Senate is on recess, the suspension having expired, she should be granted access to her office. Because after all, when the Senate returns, she should have access to her office. There are projects, there are bills she's working on. She can, if she so likes, have access. It was on the basis of that the clerk of the National Assembly then said, oh, there are matters that are still pending in court. Well, I don't think that the clerk of the National Assembly has the authority to determine who comes back to the National Assembly or not. And that is why the leadership of the National Assembly should quickly look into this matter and take a decision. However, if they are going to go by what the clerk of the National Assembly has said, that there are cases at the level of appeal in court, and that those cases to go over them will amount to contempt of court, that it will be subjudicial because you will need the courts to take a decision one way or the other. Now, if you look at that, it looks like the case can go on forever.
Appears, yeah.
And that was why I referred to the point made by Justice Binta Nyako when she was looking at this same matter, when she said that, look, if you suspend somebody for over 180 days, which is the total number of time that, a Senate sits in a year, they're high about the people that she's representing. The people that will have been short-served, that will have been short-changed, that will have been denied the right to representation will be, our constituents. And I think that is an important point. And on the basis of that, Justice Nyako advised that, look, the Senate also has the responsibility to look at its own rules and see that in trying to accuse any of your members for gross misconduct, that was the allegation, gross misconduct, that's what they said. You don't then deny the people who have their representatives in power. I think the leadership of the Senate should look at all of this and see how we can move beyond this particular matter, because it's embarrassing.
It is quite
not
embarrassing.
Just to ordinary people, but also within the committee of parliamentarians.
Yeah.
There's something they call the International Interparliamentary Union, IPU. That's the abbreviation. And I hope that they will find a way of resolving this matter so that we can all move forward.
Yeah, I'm not sure you answered the question I asked,
Okay,
what your opinion was about whether after serving her 6 months suspension, whether you feel it's right to just extend with the court. Did you answer me?
No. Nobody has said they are extending.
No, it appears
what
so
the clerk said is that there are matters in court.
Yeah.
But I also said that...
No, it's because she can't resume. That's what I'm asking.
The clerk is not the final authority.
Yeah.
And two, I said the Senate at the moment is on recess. They are not coming back until September 23. Now, they have the window to look at this matter. Maybe when they come back on September 23, it's a matter that they can discharge because we don't need this distraction.
All right, well
actually.
Said. All right. Well, we'll follow up on the story, I think, by the 23rd. All right. Well, let's now take a story from Lagos, where we have an update to the story of why crowds from Oworonshoki protested the sudden destruction of buildings in their community on the 3rd Mainland Bridge. In a new statement, the Lagos State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Gbenga Omotosho, revealed that the Lagos State government engaged with residents of Oworonshoki multiple times over the past 3 years, providing ample notice for them to regularize their building papers before the homes were ultimately demolished. Omotosho maintained that the demolitions were necessary for development and were conducted after extensive engagement with residents who, despite numerous warnings and amnesty periods, failed to produce any valid building or land documents. He described the structure as distressed and unsafe, adding that the development cannot be hindered by what he described as pure lawlessness. In the meantime, some residents of Oworonshoki say their homes were demolished despite submitting the required documents for building approval. A resident accused officials from the Lagos State Building Control Agency and the local monarch of a land-grabbing scheme. The resident claims that after being instructed to upgrade their houses, demolition crews arrived late on Friday night, catching families off guard and preventing them from salvaging their belongings. Let's take a look.
It was on that Friday, on the 6th. I wasn't putting on anything. I was just shouting my son's name. Before I came out, they have already at the 4th house there. We were inside in the midnight. I didn't believe it all. I don't know what to do. I was stranded. It was my son that gingered me that, Mommy, I can park. We couldn't park anything before we knew it. They just, my son wanted to park the plumbing materials. There, they didn't allow us. They came last May, and they only asked us they didn't say
we should vacate our land
to demolish. They said they didn't even say renovation. He said we should come with our document, that we should come and file for building approval. not that they want to demolish.
Wow, this was quite hard to listen to. You know, also in that statement that the Commissioner of Information, Gbenga Omotosho, refuted claims that the government's slow bureaucracy was to blame, stating that the approval process has been streamlined to under 10 days for those with complete land documents. So we're hearing different, interpretations of what really transpired with these Oworonshoki residents. But that same woman, she, made a lot of accusations. She accused the Lagos state government officials. She also accused a monarch. And I'd like to play that soundbite, if we can, of this lady publicly accusing a monarch of land grabbing. Let's take a look.
So someone advised us that we should go to head of Labska. Abdul Ghani Oki or something.
Bolan Oki.
So we now went there. We went to his office. He said he's not aware. So he now checked the number on the abatement paper. He called. He said, Shaye, were you the one that went to place papers on people's properties at Ojileru? He said yes. He said, who sent you? He said, Baba, I will come and see you, sir. So Mr. Okino said, are you crazy? I said, who sent you? He now said it was Kabiesi that sent him. Mr. Okino advised us that we should go and liaise with the Oba, the Kabiesi, the king, so that we should ask him what he really wants from us. Maybe he wants us to rebuy the properties.
All right, another strong accusation there, Rufai. I mean, what are your thoughts on this story? Okay. The response from the Lagos state government, as well as her, rebuttal.
So
there.
with due respect, I don't think the report from the Lagos state government is good enough, because there was also a video of somebody that were challenging them before this time and saying, oh, when we told you to go and do your property on time, you didn't do it on time, then you saw the demolition. And this was before the protest even happened. It's not good enough, because we also see that there's a lot of lacuna. We don't know who you are talking to in Lagos state government. That's always the problem. It's just like some buildings that people in Lagos state government give authorization to go up. Yeah. When it now comes down, they will say they know nothing about it. Yeah. Another harm. So the Lagos state government is convoluted. And that's why I've always suggested technology can solve this problem. Lagos state government, if they say they are very advanced, they should put a blockchain platform up for land. So that anybody that buys land and your paper is up there, is verified. So that anybody that comes up there will be able to see what is happening there. That's just it. Make the land process transparent. This one that they're saying they're going to check in lands, it always causes problem in the end. And people victimize other people. But Audrey, please, I'm sorry. I just want to point out the hypocrisy of the Senate as regards Natasha matter in less than 1 second.
Okay.
The Senate is now claiming that the case is in court, so Natasha should not return, because the case is in court, right?
The clerk.
The clerk of the Senate is speaking for the Senate.
We
don't know whether it was authorized.
Dr. Abati was authorized. Adara Madu, like I just read, reiterated that point.
It was authorized because it was in reaction to Natasha.
But we have a spokesperson who actually said
it. Let me give you
empirical
facts that the Senate is hypocritical. And this is an attempt just to stifle the voice of Senator Natasha Akpoti. On the 4th of March, Justice Obiora Egwato restrained the Senate for suspending Natasha Akpoti, but it was vacated on the 20th of March. Did the Senate comply with that judgment then? They didn't. You know what they remember? They now started positing them. The Senate started saying that the court cannot come and intervene into the Senate matter. But the same Senate that said that for Justice Egwato's judgment because they favored Natasha, it is the same Senate now that is coming out to say that things are a court, so let's respect the courts because it favors them in this regard. I rest my case.
Yeah, it screams of hypocrisy, absolutely.
And the danger of this is that it sends a message of victimization for Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Yeah. It's a strong message in that, and I think just for the integrity of the Senate, they should do right by her. She served her 6 months punishment, well, in quote, suspension. I don't know if we can call that punishment, but her people, most importantly, Senator Kogi Central Senatorial District, have been denied a voice in matters in the Senate as a result of of this suspension?
Which is the
on
most
Lagos,
important. Before I come to you on
another
Lagos,
side of it?
Yes. Okay. Can I take this one and then you
Okay,
can
go
add
ahead.
on?
Go
You
ahead.
have another side of the Oworonshoki
No. I just
conversation.
wanted to say.
Let me take this one, then
Okay,
you can
after.
add on it.
Yeah.
In another development, still in Lagos, a property dispute has escalated into a public outcry following the illegal demolition of buildings on Gaskia College Road. The demolished property, which included numerous shops, reportedly belongs to the estate of the late Chief Olatunde Lawrence, also known as Baba Gaskia. The demolition has left many traders and residents homeless and without their livelihoods. The affected families and the estate's administrators are now calling on the Inspector General of Police, the Lagos State Governor, and other authorities to intervene and ensure justice is served as they plan to submit a formal petition. There you have it, another demolition. The estate's administrators allege that the demolition was carried out by land grabbers and officials from the Lagos Fiscal Planning and Urban Development Department, despite a recent court order that nullified the sale of the properties. The administrators claim that the demolition was approved by Commissioner Mr. Olamide Olayinka, and that's a report that I received as well. I'm putting it out there also for the Lagos State government to respond to. Livelihoods, people's homes have been demolished. Dr. Abati, you said you had another side.
Okay. The last time you brought the Oworonshoki subject,
Yes.
when the residents blocked the third mainland bridge, we made the point that the Lagos State government, whatever they do, while trying to enforce the law, should have a human face.
Yes.
Now, I think in response to that, both the Commissioner for Information and Chief Bola Oki, who is a PAMSEC in the Office of Urban Development in Lagos, have made it clear that one, in fact, I think Chief Oki was on television, another station, saying that, look, did they give notice to the people along the coastal line of Oworonshoki? He said he did. Did they ask them to bring their building approvals? Yeah. He said they did. They didn't come up with their building approvals. Did they meet with the community leaders? He said they did. And they made it clear to them that you don't have approval, you don't want to correct the situation. And even these buildings, they are illegal structures, shanties. They are mostly shanties along that coastline. And that within the building approval rules of Lagos State, that cannot stand. In fact, what I even found instructive there is that the Chief Oki was making the point that the next stop will be Makoko, which is also the coastal line, and that they have told the people of Makoko that all these illegal shanties will be removed. Now, I was concerned because that Makoko, you have seen the World Bank going there, you have seen NGOs going there, trying to support the people, to see how they can be helped. So we go back to the residual point that the state government should just make sure that there is a human face in this regard. If these are shanties, they are illegal structures, what effort is the same Lagos State government making to help the people, to relocate them?
These are the questions.
If you look at Chief Gasikia's also properties that they are destroying, okay, they will look like shanties, some of them will not look like shanties, but the thing is to help the people.
The livelihoods of traders.
Just to make sure
people
that
living in their homes. Come on, really.
So that you don't just punish people, for violating the law. The law must have a human face.
I like that
because the law is made for human beings, not for bureaucracy.
Well said. We will continue to follow up on these stories. Well, let's now highlight these photographs of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who had a very warm welcome in Paris, France yesterday, September 10th. These newly released photographs showing President Tinubu smiling and shaking hands with French President Emmanuel Macron were taken at the Élysée Palace. The president is in France as part of his 10-day working vacation. In a post on X, Tinubu stated that he had a productive lunch with the French president, adding that they both reviewed key areas of cooperation between Nigeria and France and agreed to deepen their partnership for mutual prosperity and global stability. Ayo, I mean, the president looks really dapper in that blue suit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
but you know, you did in his blues. I mean, and they were matching.
They were matching.
Yes,
It just shows that the relationship between the French president and the Nigerian president is quite deep and cordial.
Let me tell you what people are saying on social media before I come to you. Well, this person wrote, Mr. President, you are looking fresh in your suit. There is insecurity everywhere in Nigeria. Oh, I know those close to you won't tell you. That was quite funny. Then another ex-user, I think this person's on Instagram, wrote, was Nigeria colonized by France? I mean, did they change history? Why this France? France. Is it the only country for international relationship? I thought that was funny as well. But then another ex-user wrote, Mr. President, I understand that you are on your annual leave, and of course, you are entitled to it. However, I urge you to reflect. What has your government truly achieved so far? We have 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Would it not be more ideal for you and your cabinet to focus on fixing the country so that you and every Nigerian can travel locally and enjoy the infrastructure you put in place, rather than going abroad? What value does such foreign travel add to your legacy? And of course, you know that these sorts of questions will always come up when we see the photographs of the president out there. And of course, you know Nigerians will react in this manner.
Also, there are many things, and thank you for bringing out these salient points.
Yes.
Earlier on, when we talked about the picture, I had made the comment that the president looked healthy, and that he went for that.
He actually does.
He does look. He looks really nice. So Nigeria's money is working. You know, because no, it's true. Because to a very large extent, we pay for a lot of the enjoyment that the president, the good side. He also works hard, so you know that's part of his benefits as president. So yes, Nigeria's money is working. But I made a statement.
Woman leader.
No. But I made a statement and
It needs your money.
no,
to buy suits.
money is never too much.
Is it true?
It's never. Even not.
Fine, you're not
I hope it was the money he used for the trip. I think the money he used for the trip. If you can tell me that because he has so much money, was his own personal funds that funded this trip, then we can say that he
You want
doesn't have money.
EFCC to investigate the source of his suits.
Let me talk about that suit because Dr. Abati talked about how.
Can we have the picture?
If I just Abati said that it was GQX.
Yes.
You know, his suit.
GQ.
And I said, and I still maintain, that I hope that he bought Nigeria to grow the Naira. That suit would have been nicely made in Aba because they make some of the most quality. And this is advocate. I mean, if he's the chief marketing officer, imagine if in conversation with the president of the fashion capital of the world saying, oh, look at this outfit. I made it from this. So let me bring it. That's trade between France and Nigeria. So any little opportunity or any opportunity to sell Nigeria is very welcome.
Right.
So, sir, please, tell us the maker of that suit. Now, going to your point, the truth is that
It's probably an Amani suit.
no, Dr. But I refuse to believe that the president is wearing Amani. Going to France,
very good tailors.
This is my atafo.
Okay.
Anyways,
promotion.
But let me just say that.
Imagination.
Let me finish. So what I was saying was that in those posts and those X posts and Instagram posts, oftentimes this is what we see. Our leaders, the look of our leaders do not reflect the look of the people. Now you might say, what is the power of a picture? Only yesterday we talked about Nepal and how this uprising and discontent started with pictures of luxurious lifestyle of politicians' kids, Nipo babies. And so when people go online, and we're talking about the power of social media, the people in rural areas who are suffering, who have access to a phone, will look at their picture, open it and say that life is so difficult for me, yet my leaders are shining. They look like nothing is staining their white. This is what caused and what was brewing under when the conflict in Nepal started. I'm just saying that it might look like it's a joke, but it's very true. Right. If people continuously see that, oh, our leaders look good, they are traveling abroad, they have access to good quality healthcare, access to infrastructure that we are deprived of at home, it will brew discontent. So while I agree that the president has a right to go on holiday, go abroad, even though I still advocate that there are nice places at home he can go to, there's a point to be made about make your own country better. The world is becoming becoming more intolerant to foreigners, to migration. And so let's fix our country so that we don't need to be lining up or queuing at embassies to get visas to go abroad when we can actually make our country better. So good thing President Tinubu is abroad. So I hope he can learn, see a few things in France that is nice and can come and replicate in Nigeria or even do better at home.
Well said. He's also going to the UK as well. So I'm sure that we'll see some pictures from the United Kingdom as well. Well, now to Abuja, where the immediate past group managing director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, was interrogated by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Wednesday as part of its investigations into alleged fraud in the state-owned oil company. Kyari was reportedly summoned to the EFCC to answer questions about some key financial transactions while he was at the helm of the company. Kyari had been on the EFCC's watch list in connection to a $7.2 billion refinery maintenance project in Kaduna, Warri, and Port Harcourt. This new development comes as the Federal High Court in Abuja also recently called for a temporary freeze on 4 of Kyari's Jais bank accounts over allegations of fraud. In the meantime, Paulinus Okoronquo, a former general manager of the NNPC, has been found guilty in a United States court of transactional money laundering, tax evasion, and obstruction of justice. The charges stemmed from a $2.1 million bribe he received from a Chinese company, Adax Petroleum, which was intended to secure favorable drilling rights in Nigeria. Prosecutors revealed during the trial that the payment was disguised as consultancy fees and was funneled into Okoronkwo's law firm's trust account in Los Angeles. Okoronkwo later used nearly $1 million of the bribe money as a down payment to buy a home in Spain and lied to federal investigators about the source of the funds. A sentencing hearing is scheduled for December 1st, where he faces a maximum of 10 years in a federal prison for each money laundering count. Dr. Batiovatiyo, this is such a huge story coming out of the NNPC as well.
Okay, 2 things. When Mr. Mele Kyari left office and we were doing an assessment of his performance, we had made the point on this table that yes, while there are issues that people may raise, there are also, commendations in terms of what he has done. But Nigerians are very concerned about the opaqueness of NNPC Limited, NNPC before it. And Nigerians were saying they wanted Mr. Mele Kyari to offer an account, particularly on some of the transactions, particularly with regard to the refineries. Port Harcourt refinery that was technically completed. Nigerians say they want to know, how much did you spend? About a frontier, they call it frontier exploration, in the Gongola Basin, the Chad Basin, and all of that. People said they wanted details, and so on and so forth. And at that time, he had left on vacation, and he made the point that he would submit himself, and that he was ready to be interrogated. And obviously, we were told now that he submitted himself, he reported at the EFCC headquarters, and the EFCC have also confirmed that, they've been interrogating him. So all of these, interrogations, I think to satisfy the curiosity of the Nigerians, of concerned Nigerians, it will be important to tell us what exactly happened, how far with this, because many Nigerians are already going online now. They are saying, this is what they do. They will invite somebody, who has hired the public office. At the end of the day, you will not hear anything. So I think as much as possible, the investigating authorities should meet the people halfway and let them know what is happening. However, there's also the tendency to engage in a media trial. And I think that, all of us must be careful about media trial, because oftentimes, once you hear that the EFCC or the DSS have invited somebody, Nigerians will just jump to a conclusion. They will construe themselves into a court of law. And it is irresponsible, because nobody is above the law. That's the principle. Anybody can be invited for questioning. That is the job of the investigating agency. But that does not mean that whoever it is guilty. But what we do here is we do media trial. We say it is our money. You were just a few minutes ago saying President Tinubu use our money to buy suits. You said our money. Suppose he used his own money. A man who has been working for years. So we should just be careful about, victimizing or demonizing people who have not been found guilty of any infraction.
All right, well said. We'll take another story now. In a notable development, the United Kingdom has commended the Kaduna State Governor, Uba Sani, for his efforts in improving security in his state and, in recognition, upgraded its travel advisory for the state, shifting it from a red to an amber status. The decision was announced by the head of UK Development Corporation at the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, Cynthia Rowe, during the Kaduna Mutual Accountability Framework Dialogue held on Wednesday. The Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office also announced a new program, Spring, designed to address conflict, support peace building, and promote inclusive governance. In response, Governor Uba Sani expressed gratitude for the strong partnership with the United Kingdom and highlighted the progress his administration has made in areas like infrastructure, healthcare, and education.
The key achievements of the Kaduna State Mutual Accountability Frameworks include health sector improvements with expanded access to quality care, reduced maternal and child mortality rates, and enhanced responses to public health emergencies. On behalf of the government and people of Kaduna State, I wish to express my profound gratitude to the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, for their support towards strengthening governance and enhancing development in Kaduna State. It is my hope that discussions at this strategic dialogue will be robust, result-oriented. I urge you to come up with actionable solutions that will strengthen our partnership, quicken the phase of governance, and advance the goals of a more prosperous, equitable, and resilient Kaduna State.
This is such great news. Governor of Peace, we have held him here on Arise News. I mean, this upgrade in the travel advisory is a significant milestone for Kaduna State as it reflects the positive outcomes of the state's government security initiatives and reinforces international confidence in Kaduna's future. We also understand that the UK government is also collaborating with the Kaduna Investment Promotion Agency to boost economic growth and attract private sector investment. We'll say kudos to Governor Uba Sani. We'll take our good news report now, highlighting Enugu State for being recognized as a model green state, winning a 100 million naira award from the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. The award came as she unveiled a new nationwide environmental initiative. Well, in a ceremony at the presidential villa, the First Lady launched the Renewed Hope Initiative Green Nigeria Challenge, a competition aimed at promoting environmental cleanliness and tree planting across Nigeria. The initiative, with the motto, Go Green, Today for a Greener Tomorrow, is designed to foster environmental consciousness and action at every level. The First Lady presented a plaque and a check for 100 million naira to the wife of Enugu State Governor, Nkechinyere Mba, who received the honor on behalf of the state. The First Lady praised Enugu's proactive approach, emphasizing that the state truly earned the award, not just for tree planting, but for its overall cleanliness.
As a biologist, I've always loved to go green. During the time my husband was governor of Lagos State, I used to go clean roads. Unclogged drains, I did a lot. I was young. So I used a lot of energy. I was all and about because, the sedentary life they put you in the State House, it was just too much. So I had to go out there. So I have reasons to go out and do work. When I was riding in the car with the First Lady of Enugu State, she was telling me that, when she sees anything that the governor doesn't want to really see any filth around, that immediately they call, they fix it immediately. And I think that's the best way to go. We can learn a thing or two from there.
Well, this is huge. This Green Nigeria Challenge is divided into 3 categories: household, community, and state, with prices of up to 20 million naira, 50 million naira, and 100 million naira, respectively. Now, the state category will see other states compete for a prize similar to what Enugu has won by increasing their tree coverage. The First Lady, who, like she said, is a biologist, had shared that personal experience. I think that she's doing so well. Your state, is it going to follow suit? Because she did say that she was unclogging.
Nigeria.
Yes.
Sorry,
today.
Let me not bring that argument.
Right.
But let me just say congratulations.
Congratulations to Enugu.
Governor Peter
Yes, absolutely.
well done. And also important to know that it's not political. Because Enugu State is not an Governor
It's
Peter
not an APC
it's not
state.
an APC state.
Absolutely
it's a PDP
right.
state. So
absolutely
it wasn't to reward APC members. So it's just good to say it was fair. Fair and balanced in the way they chose it. But finally, I just want to say that I must commend the First Lady.
Yes.
I must say that she has carried herself with dignity in fulfilling this role as First Lady.
Absolutely.
And her initiatives under the Renewed Hope initiative has been very good.
Fantastic.
Hate it or love it, I think she has carried herself quite well.
Well said. Well, as we'll say, kudos to the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. Now to our milestones. Today marks 24 years since 9/11, a day that's forever marked into the world's memory as the devastating attack that tragically killed almost 3,000 people of all ages from different corners of the world. September 11, 2001 is a day that everyone remembers where they were when they first saw the news that terrorists from the Islamic extremist group Al-Qaeda had hijacked 4 planes in the United States and crashed 2 into the World Trade Center in New York, 1 into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and a 4th into a field in Pennsylvania. 24 years later, the images are still vividly painted in everyone's memory. The billowing smoke coming out of the skyscrapers, the fires, and the fear etched on people's faces, the hundreds of first responders, police, and officials that heroically leapt into action, and the ones who lost their lives.
Somebody hit the World Trade Center or the...
It's a Trade Center.
The World Trade Center.
Center.
There's a fire on the upper floors.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That looks like a second plane.
Right there's another one. Another plane just hit. Right. Oh my God. Another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it.
Oh my goodness, there's another one.
Seems to be on purpose.
Oh my goodness, now you...
And a voice gone forever.
These were the moments televised around the world, and every year, we at Arise News mark the day to make sure we never forget. And so we do so by taking a moment to pause and remember the 2,983 people who lost their lives and honoring them with a moment of silence. May their souls continue to rest in peace.
Amen.
Dr. Bati, second.
Tragic incident. We drew the attention of the world to the threat of terror. And it was the first time that NATO invoked Article 5 of the NATO treaty, and the world came together to fight terror. Al-Qaeda, and then Osama bin Laden, who was eliminated. And then, of course, that led to so many things about, security, global security, about the role of first responders and firefighters and all of that.
There will be a moment of silence.
Yeah, it's a sad day.
As well.
Yes.
Well, I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on what's trending. And we forever remember the victims of 9/11. May their souls continue to rest in peace. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.